Hello guys, welcome to another Boostknowledge video, and yes, finally, geography is now on Boostknowledge. So before we start, let me go through the geography course. So there are 5 units in total, covering all you need to know for geography, KS3, mostly from the CE, and some scholarship ideas, this syllabus. And there are 5 units, and there will be about 45 lessons per unit. So let's get started. In this lesson, you are going to learn structure of the Earth, tectonic plate boundaries, types of volcanoes, and why volcanic eruptions and earthquakes occur. So let's learn about the basic structure of the Earth. So the Earth consists of 4 main parts: the inner core, outer core, mantle, and crust. The inner core is a big block of hot, dense metal which has a temperature of 5,500 degrees. Wow. It also has high pressure. But wouldn't you wonder that 5,500 degrees, and yet it's true, has surpassed a metal's boiling point. So it will become gas. So why is it still hot? Why is it still metal or solid? And how do we know? Firstly, we know because we can put detectors, detect the inner core, and secondly, it is the reason that the the core is still solid because, as I said, the pressure is very high there. According to science, if a place has a very high pressure, its boiling point and melting point would increase. So yeah, that's one. The outer core is cooler than the inner core, and it contains mostly liquid metal. The mantle is half or semi-molten rock. It is also the thickest of the 4 parts, and where the lava of volcanoes come from. Sorry. Why? Sorry, it glitches. It's glitched. And the crust is where we are now. We have nearly always lived on or above the crust. However, it is still quite thin compared to the other 3. It also contains tectonic plates. So, speaking of tectonic plates, here's a map of all tectonic plates. So we have the Eurasian, North American plate, Caribbean plate. This is the Cocos plate. Nazca plate, South American plate, Scotia plate, although nowhere near Scotland, Antarctic plate, Pacific plate, Juan de Fuca plate. What is that? Arabian plate, Indian plate, Australian plate, and the Philippine plate. We are mostly on the Eurasian plate or the North American plate, unless you live somewhere else. And these are the plate boundaries. It is also worth mentioning 2 facts. Firstly, these tectonic plates move a couple of centimeters per year, and that you might wonder that's slow. That's how fast one's fingernails grow. And yes, that's correct. But the thing is, couple of centimeters per year, 2 or 3 centimeters per year, will mean 2,000 centimeters every 1,000 years, and 2 million centimeters per 1 million years. And that's quite a lot. And that period of time is quite short compared to Earth's entire history, and that amount of distance is quite long too. And there are also 2 types of plate boundaries, plates: oceanic plate, which is easy, an ocean, and a continental plate. An oceanic plate is also more dense than a continental plate. Why? The ocean is actually more dense than land. Okay. Let's talk about the 4 types of plate boundaries. Okay. Constructive plate boundary, which means when 2 oceanic plates are moving away from each other, because the lava from the mantle is underneath, so it rises to the top because it has a lower density. The second type is destructive plate boundary. It's when an oceanic plate and a continental plate meets. The continental plate, because I said it has a lower density, it sinks under the other, and it melts in the magma in the mantle. That's bad. And then the material is erupted out in the volcanic eruption. There's also conservative plate boundaries. It's when 2 plates slide with each other. Conservative party. Well, you don't need to care about that. It's sometimes even called sliding plate boundaries. After the plates lock with each other, they start to be stable, which is good. But then tension starts to rise. Why? Well, because the plates exert pressure on each other, and yeah, it starts building tension, and then they start to move apart, not break apart. Sorry, move apart, and this causes earthquakes. And collision plate boundaries is when two continental plates, not oceanic plates or an oceanic and a continental plate, when they collide, because they have the same mass and density, they push towards each other and pile upwards, because you can't just put land into land. So if you push two blocks of rock together, I think it's a bit hard for you to do so. But if you try to push two, you can actually do this experiment. If you try to push two blocks of plain dough in a sealed container, because if you push them, they will become very long. If you push them, in most cases, I would suspect that it'll pile up, and it'll form. And in real life, it forms mountain ranges. And yes, the Himalayas are formed out of these. These also cause earthquakes. So wait a second. The first two cause volcanic eruptions. The latter two causes earthquakes. Yes, and yes, I've just taught you how earthquakes and volcanoes are formed. Speaking about volcanoes, how are volcanoes formed then? Yes, there are two different types of volcanoes. Firstly, composite volcanoes. These are the ones we don't want. They are formed of destructive plate boundaries, and they're very violent. So their lava produces very thick and sticky, although I doubt that anybody would actually touch it. When it erupts, the ash and lava are ejected in the air, into the clouds and it falls down eventually, mixing with rain in a process called... Yep. In a process called lahars. So, it's not a process, sorry. So, they mix together, and that is called a lahar. Lahar. Okay, so... And hot air and ash will also rush at high speed around the area at about 160 kilometers per hour. These volcanoes kill loads of lives, and I would recommend you avoid them. Although in the next lesson we'll explain why people would like to live near a volcano. The second type of volcano is a friendlier one, a shield volcano. They are formed of constructive plate boundaries. They are less violent. Means they don't kill as more lives. The lava actually doesn't erupt, but it flows gently down and forms layers at the sides of the volcano once cooled, and they are little damage to human property and lives. Nevertheless, I don't think when it is told that the shield volcano will sort of erupt, don't go near there. It'll still burn you to death. And this is the end of Geography Lesson 1.1. You have learned the structure of the Earth, tectonic plate boundaries, types of volcanoes, and why volcanic eruptions and earthquakes occur. I hope you did enjoy the video. Please like and subscribe for more, and our next video will be coming at any moment.